What is your perspective on what he's doing here?
Yeah, I mean, when I was with the Mets, it was the same thing. And I have to say, I respect the guy so much for putting himself out there, because this was the same story when he was with the Mets. I mean, just tons of media attention, so much criticism. No one believed in him. I mean, this guy is an athlete, and that's what I always saw in him. I knew that he wasn't going to make it to the big leagues, but the point was he was putting himself out there, making himself super vulnerable in a sport that he had not played in a very long time, trying to hit, trying to play the outfield, doing all that he possibly could, knowing that every single person that was out there watching did not believe in him, did not think that he could do it. And I see the same with football right now. The amount of media attention, I respect the guy, the fact that he is putting himself out there in a way that most people wouldn't. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But I definitely give him kudos for trying.
I hear that, and I think that's really interesting. And again, Marcus, I will once again underline your relationship with him. You have sat next to him for how many years on SEC, on the Countdown show that you guys do on Saturday mornings, and so many other things. So no one thinks he can do this, right? Or you don't? No one thinks he can come back and play tight end in the National Football League here. So why do you think this is happening, Marcus?
Well, one, G, it's because of the relationship, and I'm with Jessica. Like, Tim is an uber competitor.
But why is he doing it? I get why Urban is doing it because of the relationship. Why is Tim doing it?
G, when you call him and find out, let me know. Okay? Because Tim is successful in a lot of aspects in life. He doesn't need football. He doesn't need to play football. He doesn't need to be out there. This game is hard, man. Like, we get so enamored with Tim Tebow, the person. We got to get to the football part of this. That's the issue. Just like Jessica was talking about with baseball. I was with him working at SEC Network at SEC Nation when he went to play baseball. And I said the same exact thing Jessica said. And he had some success in lower tier ball, but the major leagues was the goal, and everybody knew that that wasn't going to happen because you've been away for so long, and players that are in the majors have been at this game. They've been fighting the farm systems forever to try to get up into this point, who had a leg up on you, not only while you were playing football, but being on TV as well. Now we get to the NFL. And we had the conversation about Tim when he was playing quarterback. Should he change positions? What can he do? Can we find a role for him? Because people are attached and drawn to his competitive nature, his competitive spirit, how he goes about his business in preparation and getting ready to play. But that's why I said 15 minutes ago, G, don't nobody give a damn about your competitive nature, your competitive spirit. The game of football is, can you do a job to help us win games? That is where we find the line in the sand. That is where this thing gets complicated. I don't believe you can be away from this game this long, never play in a position, and come back and say, yeah, I'm going to do this in the pros against guys that's been doing this the last 8 years that you've been out in TV and playing baseball. That's my belief. I could be wrong, and Tim has proved people wrong in his life. We'll see what happens. I just don't see it happening that way.
To Jessica's point, no one believes that he can do it. And Kimberly, I'd love you to tell quickly the story. You talk about how the circus has come into town. You were there for this in 2012 with the Jets. And tell the story about when they would work on his plays in training camp.
I was hoping I'd keep this in the vault forever. But yeah, no, training camp in Cortland. I mean, we had players were forming a wall so the media could not see the special secret Tebow Wildcat package. Ooh, that was going to like take every team by storm. And guess what? None of those plays actually made it into the game, and he did nothing with the Jets. And I think the circus that comes with him, it's just so much attention. We are talking about him. We're constantly talking about him. NFL personnel do not think he's going to make it on this roster, and don't even know if he's actually, they think he might retire in training camp. So this almost feels like the Jaguars are inviting the circus, like, hey, clown, like, come on in, like, everybody set up shop, like, because he's just that guy. Like, everybody loves talking about him. And it's just the football aspect. That's the part that everybody is stuck on in the NFL, like a tight end. Think about the best tight ends that are out there. Kittle, Kelsey, that's not Tebow type stuff.
It doesn't feel that way.
Jessica, but let me say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jess. Go ahead, Jess.
I was going to give Jessica the final word. I'm up against a break. Go ahead, Jess.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just feel like this is This is more about Urban. I feel like just knowing that this is one of his guys. And when I look at, Tim, Marcus, you know him so well, but even knowing Urban, I mean, this is getting his guys in the system. I don't think the intention is to get him on the field as much as it is about having his guys in a space that is so new for Urban, wanting to set the tone, someone that he understands and knows. He's got guys from Ohio State, I get it, but this is his dude. And knowing that he's going to be there in the system, even if he ends up retiring in training camp, just the influence that he can have maybe amongst other players, reiterating being there for Urban Meyer.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.